the shows.
Alright. And we are live. Alright, so this is Luisito.
Hey, Aguila.
Alright, so we're going to be talking about today about the shows yesterday about NXT and AEW, which probably, for me, was probably the best NXT I've seen so far, and I think probably was better than AEW, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, in my personal opinion, I think AEW did a great show after Full Gear. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They kept the story alive, which I like. With NXT, to me, us Dominicans, we have like this dish called a sancocho, right? Which basically is a broth full with different vegetables and ingredients and a whole lot of stuff. And that's what I felt NXT was. It was good, but it was just all over the place, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I feel like now that they are kind of setting up, they basically have like a week and a half to set up for War Games. So they kind of like finish up, kind of following your analogy with the sancocho. I putting everything together. I know it seemed like a hodgepodge of everything, but I feel like everything's kind of falling into pieces, and now we kind of seeing the final teams and final feuds heading towards War Games.
We do
Really?
not, because it was announced yesterday that because of Finn Balor promo and him bashing on a few competitors, one of the name was Matt Riddles. Matt Riddles went in, laid a smackdown on Finn Balor,
Mm-hmm.
and because of the aftermath of Keith Lee versus Roderick Strong match, Finn Balor, again attacked, this time to Matt Riddle, and they call that Matt Riddle has a one-on-one match with Finn Balor in War Games. So that means they lost a piece. So the question is, who's going to fulfill Matt Riddle's spot for War Games? You know
True. I see. I feel like I see. I see your point. I feel like that one, because it's kind of tough. We talked about on the last podcast about how we how we have War Games at the same time as Survivor Series. So I don't know how they're gonna put everybody together. But I feel like because I know we're gonna see the whole Undisputed Era for War Games. So who else can we put there that's not in a feud to kind of because I like the Riddle and the Finn Balor thing.
Okay.
I feel like it's a great utilization of both people, and I feel like it helps Riddle because it kind of gives them like a high contender, like a legit person. Because I know he's been feuding with Killian Dane and other people, but I feel like Finn Balor would be like, if he able to beat him or be a good match and be kind of a highlight for his NXT career. And Finn Balor needs somebody to make a statement, so I'm kind of glad it was Riddle. But I feel like maybe, I don't know how bad is the injury for Velveteen Dream, but we maybe could see him there or somebody else for War Games. I don't think Pete Dunne will be able to. I would like to see Pete Dunne added to the team, but I feel like he's still feuding with Killian Dane and the other fella, Damian Priest. So
yeah, it's. I mean, I understand what you mean about Matt Riddle and Finn Balor. I mean, it's interesting to see that Matt Riddle is the first person to face Balor, and honestly, if Johnny Gargano was not injured, it would have been him for sure. You know what I'm saying? With no hesitation, it would have been him. And Matt Riddle being the replacement, to me, I feel like it's very unfair in a sense. I felt towards more Tyler Breeze, maybe.
Okay.
Someone who's already familiarized with Finn Balor's style or already performed with him in the ring, to be able to get Finn Balor a clean win. You know what I'm saying? Matt Riddle already has a great height that if he gets shoveled by Finn Balor, to me, it's just, I wouldn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? It's a good match, yes. A great pay-per-view match, yes. Is it too early for me? Yes.
Okay.
Those hit all my concerns. But I agree with you. It's going to be a good match. Um, Velveteen Dream being replacing that spot again, that's a question mark. I feel like maybe throw in one of the Forgotten Son. You know what I'm saying? Who's that muscular leader of them? What's his name again?
I think it might be Jackson Riker. Maybe he could be the big guy there. That'd be good to see. Even who will be kind of like, it'd be different, but we haven't seen him in a while. I don't know if because there's a lot of drama behind him, but maybe if they did Jordan Miles there and give him not a push, but I know it's a lot of drama behind him, but he'd be a good kind of like transition for him to get out of the doghouse.
Well, I'm not sure if you saw the news, but Jordan Miles quit WWE.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I think I saw that the report that he quit. I feel like I don't know how serious. I probably want to see more reports to it. I know there was like a lot of the T-shirt and stuff and the marketing behind it, but I feel like I think he over exaggerated. I think a little bit. He could have been used especially for his skill and stuff. It would be great, especially for him to be out of here. The only thing I would say probably maybe I know that he'd be kind of the person that'd be kind of weird, but maybe the Oni Lorcan or maybe Tony needs somebody from like 205 and kind of add somebody in there, like somebody like OG.
Really that would be the right move, even if you throw in Leo Rush to the squad. You know what I'm saying?
He's a champion.
Now you will have he's a champion, so it'll be one champion versus 4 champions, and that right there giving more sense. But we'll find out. I'm rooting more to Velveteen Dream if it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll be a great pop for him. And then I think he hasn't performed in War Games yet, if my memory serves correctly.
Not inside War Games. He's participated in a couple of main event matches and stuff. Yep. And especially
Cold. Yep,
but not inside the cage of the War Games, because that's a little extreme, kind of not extreme rules, but it's kind of like it gets crazy in there. So I don't know if he's physically prepared for that.
I mean, even if he doesn't get because I think Pete Dunne last year he was like injured in his midsection and he still participated. So Velveteen Dream definitely could be an option. We'll see. Again, to me, it's a sancocho. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's still like a lot of good ingredients in there, but it's a mess. And I gotta wait to see how it turns out next week. Another example is the women division. You know what I'm saying? The women's team for TM Ripley, every member except for Mia Kim. Wait, I think I said her name wrong. Mia Kim.
Yeah.
Mia Kim. Wow.
Yeah.
Mia Kim.
Yeah.
That everybody got hurt, and they haven't announced who really was the attacker. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice plot. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh snap. Yeah. Team Blazers, they're going in, they're taking out people, da 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 da. But they never revealed if it was really Dakota or if it was Kaylee Ray from UK.
I think it could have been Kaylee Ray, or it could have been maybe Bailey when she came at the end of the show and probably kind of took people down in the beginning of the show and kind of at the end took down the champion. So maybe if Bailey kind of she kind of did like a power move, especially kind of hinting a little bit towards Survivor Series.
And might have missed it, or I probably didn't care 2 F's about it, but was Kaylee Ray already announced as part of Team Blazer?
No. She did a couple of tweets when there was the whole Raw and SmackDown, like the invasion from NXT and stuff. So we mentioned her before. I'm like, oh, what about the NXT Women's Champion? I would have preferred. I'm glad that's Kaylee Ray, not Toni Storm, even though it would have been good. But I don't think she'll fit in with the heel group with Baszler. But it was a good addition, and I'm glad that they blending both NXT together. So I feel like that they should treat together both NXTs as like one kind of, especially.
But she was announced from Blazer that she was the added on because I believe that Riley already announced her her 3 other members, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Blazer was missing one more. You know what I'm saying? So did they confirm that, Ray was the 4th member? Because if so, it's not a bad pick. You know what I'm saying? Because she's a champion, she's representing the UK NXT.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense to me. But, that's what I mean. They never confirmed, oh yeah, Shiro, Io, freaking Blazer,
and
who's the other?
And Bianca Belair too.
Bianca, those names I know for sure, but her not so.
Yeah, she was. I feel like it wasn't like. Yeah, I feel like it wasn't like announced like an announcement itself, but I feel like because she helped out and kind of took part of the ladder match. I feel she kind of like showing her like at least people could see her and kind of be part of the group, kind of like adding to like helping out Io Shirai.
Well, if that's the case, again, it's not a bad add-on. Like I said, it's just left me that confusion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, one of the first women match, which was my girl Xia Li versus freaking
Aaliyah.
Hold on, I'm speeding. Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Right. That match right there to me was mwah.
Yeah.
And I was mad that a lot of people gave it like a C or C minus. I'm like, what? Like, Xia Li is one of Chinese first, wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? For WWE. And she did a great performance, I think, in her first live debut. So it was frustrating to see the opinions of others. But I feel like, with her showing her moves and if the broken nose was a bit or not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it sold well. It really sold well, and I'm happy that Lee got the W. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was. I feel bad for Aaliyah because if it was rehearsed, okay, good. But if it was like not an accident, but things happen in the ring.
Well,
if it was rehearsed and stuff, it was like if it wasn't rehearsed, I feel bad because like that messed up her face. I don't know how bad her the nose got broken, but I know she they had to. I saw pictures on Twitter and stuff, and her nose was like bad, and she's a pretty lady, and you're messing up her nose, like.
I mean, it's not like something that surgery won't be able to be fixed. But of course, we don't want no injury happening to no one, of course. So speedy recovery. But again, if this was something that was like planned out,
Mm-hmm.
and they sold it well. You know what I'm saying? They sold it really well to me, which I gave it that match was a B. You know what I'm saying? That a B plus at least. The second or the main card was Shiro versus
Miriam.
Kim.
Yep.
And again, another injury occurred, and this time I don't think this was planned out. This is something very seriously because you could see that the camera was focusing more on Shiro. You know what I'm saying? Building up the ladder and all this stuff. So I felt like the match extended longer than it was expected to be. But again, safety first. You know what I'm saying? And Mia Yim was able to complete her task. Kind of rusty at the end, but with the element of with Dakota jumping in, Ray, doing the sneak attack and all, it really blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, this is not bad. But again, a lot of people gave this match again a C minus, which I felt like it's debatable, but it was definitely a solid C plus.
Yeah, and I feel like it was a good strategy for NXT WWE altogether. Because this was the main event, and we had on the other side, I don't want to get too much into the other one yet, but the other side you had a tag team with Jericho, kind of the champion, so you kind of that was like your main events competing each other, and I feel like I was kind of torn in the beginning because I was like, I wanted to see what AEW, what we talked about stuff on the last episode about I wanted Chris Jericho to win the championship and stuff, but I kind of found my way kind of gravitating more into the NXT just to see the two females wrestle on the ladder, which is kind of rare to see. And basically that match had repercussions for the pay-per-view, so it's kind of built up like a story for like who's gonna get the advantage. And I've noticed most of I think the past couple of years for NXT, the heels have had the advantage. I don't know why, if they do that on purpose or maybe probably for the story, but I've noticed most of the times the heels get an advantage or something goes to the way of the heels that they get kind of a little edge in the beginning, but when they go to War Games.
I mean, with that being said, too, I believe it's Adam Cole is versus Dominique next week for who gets the advantage. So I definitely see your point there. If what you're saying is true, that means by next week, we either see A, Adam Cole, proving your point, or B, they're just trying to be, cute about it and just, be like, oh, we're going to give the face an opportunity to have the advantage, which to me, I don't really see much of a benefit of it. You know what I'm saying? All I see is just that you're just going to get 1+ player. And if it's, let's say it's Dominique and Keith starting for Team Ciampa. Okay, that's smart. You know what I'm saying? That's like a strategy. But again, this is WWE. Most likely, they're just going to build that up for either Keith Lee or Dominique to be one of the last pieces to go into the ring and, balance off the war, which, again, I got to know who's the fourth member to declare who's going to win this match. Now, with the ending of the ladder match, and Shiro holding the ladder, Blair on one side, Kelly Ray on another, Blazer coming out. We saw Bayley sneak attack and hit Blazer with the chair and did a weird reverse DDT type of move.
Yeah, she used to do that when she was in the Indies, so I don't know if that's like her new move or something or what she's doing, but it's just like,
The Bayley is still very, like, to me, I'd rather her do belly to belly. You know what I'm saying? That move to me is more powerful. You know what I'm saying? You could still give your love and respect to Macho Man as well. You'll be able to still be badass. But this new move, I was like, ooh, it needs to work. You know what I'm saying? It's not as smooth as like she's been doing with the other one. So we'll see how it goes. But I thought the sneak attack was very clever. Not a lot of WWE Raw SmackDown representative, but one showing up.
Yeah, and I feel
that linger, that hey, it's still going on.
And as well, I feel like the message was sent because everybody proved their point last week about NXT, and you saw a couple people coming, like they'll see come back last week and stuff. But I feel like Bayley needed to like do something to like prove that like they shouldn't just keep an eye on her, just to like to continue the story and kind of the thread of her being like she's a legit person, like she could come out of nowhere and like maybe win out, maybe in the Survivor Series as well. So it was good, very smart of Bayley. I feel like she needs to work on her. Hopefully by the time we see her at Survivor Series, or maybe on SmackDown, she got that finisher like perfected it, or a little bit more, like a little bit better, because it didn't look like a complete move for me.
No, I completely agree with you. Basically, she hasn't won me over yet as a heel character yet. It's going to take some work. I believe she's going to do well if she stays as champion for Survivor Series. So, again, it's going to be a very interesting match with Becky, Blazer, and Bayley for sure. Now, we cannot jump to AEW yet, even though we got a little sneak peek, without talking about the first match, which was the Cruiserweight Championship, Leo versus Gauzer. And I think what NXT has found is a good formula that you always give, the dessert first. People want to see a championship match, you know what I'm saying, time to time. And putting the Cruiserweight match first, I don't think it diminished it, but it didn't, it made it a little bit more presentable. It's like it's a strong card to start the show. I thought that was the right move.
True. And I wish the finish would have been different, but they had a good match. I'm glad that at least I feel like this storyline might continue a little bit more. Maybe see like a rematch. I know NXT. I don't think they do. They have the whole rematch clause like the other two rosters and stuff. But
that's a good question.
so
That's Triple H world.
Yeah. So if they don't, we might see maybe this again, probably in War Games, maybe as like a not an intro one, but as maybe as like because it's part of the championship. So maybe inside of the War Games or something on a stipulation that like maybe help out Garza as a heel. Even though if he might not win the championship now, but it just promotes him as a heel and kind of like helps out Leo Rush, kind of like because he's good, but I feel like his package is not all put together for me. So I feel like if you give him people that are like could challenge him and kind of like contrast to his style, it might help him as a champion and kind of like push that cruiserweight in the NXT. But it was good overall.
I mean, well, Leo ended more with a heelish type of move. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is Garza now face or is he still heel? You know what I'm saying? Because all he was doing it was first when he walked in, that was mind game. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get under his skin, try Leo, make him pissed off, or pulling his trouser in front of Leo's wife. That's strategy. 2, Garza did every possible move clean as possible to try, even though with the boot thing at the end was kind of funky, but you know what I'm saying? It was like, did Garza now became face and Leo became heel with this result? That's to me is more of the question. But if they do a part 2 of this match, you know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that it's more. I want more bodies in this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like what you just said. If this is going to be in War Game, I need this to be like how do you say, 8-man ladder match, something with like you put 205 back in the match. You know what I'm saying? Plus the cruiserweight respect.
Yeah, even like I know they shouldn't take this idea from other companies, but remember when they had on Impact or TNA, they had the X Division and they had the briefcase of the title in the middle. So you had to climb up. So you basically had to use your cruiserweight skills to like climb up or something. It was like a crazy match, but whoever was athletic, especially for cruiserweights, it helped out. It made it more interesting. So if they did something like a ladder match, like you said, or like the briefcase like on top of like the turnbuckle, but like you have to climb up 10 or something, make it like a little bit extreme, safe but extreme, especially for them. That I feel like they could like have people there because you have people there like what is it? We saw Isaiah Swerve Scott, but he could be a good person if we do like a group cruiserweight like title match. He could be there. Garza. You still have Oni Lorcan, so you could have people of different styles build up, especially for that title, and kind of builds the odds against Leo Rush, but Leo Rush could get away with it. So it's if they really think about it, they could have a good match and maybe build up a good match, especially for either War Games or for a pay-per-view that should be coming up.
Well, we'll see what happens, but again, to me, NXT did a great job in their show. Again, a lot of good things. Is they just gotta clear the water just a little bit more for it to be more solid of a show, especially that War Game is coming up within the next I think in next week or
the 20 I think the 24th. So we basically have one more NXT before War Games and Survivor Series.
Boom, right there. So you can't really mess this up, you know what I'm saying? So let's jump to AEW. And again, my comment earlier, AEW continue their story with what happened after Full Gear, Kenny Omega promo. I thought that was really necessary because it gave you an idea that Kenny would not be participating in it, but he is going to keep, Jon Moxley in the back of his head. And then they transition to a Jon Moxley match, which, it was quick, you know what I'm saying? It showed how powerful Jon Moxley is, because he faced Homeboy. And, the promo that he spit out, I thought it was like, yo, wow. Like, what can Jon not do? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that whole first segment was creme de la creme.
Yeah, and it was good. I feel like I'm glad I wanted more for that match, but I'm glad that it finished quick because it showed kind of like, especially with that paradigm shift, it goes quick. But I feel like Michael Nakazawa is the person that he faced. I feel like it could. I'm glad that it finished quick because with him being kind of like the comedy person, the jobber, or like the comedy person because he does the baby oil stuff, I feel like it could ruin a little bit of the whole Jon Moxley like persona. So I'm glad it got finished quick, but I wanted to see more of Michael Nakazawa kind of like fighting for his friend Omega. But I still wanted Moxley to win, but I just wanted a little bit more offense from the other guy.
Well, I think we see later on throughout the show why that match ended soon. So Jon Moxley definitely gave an open challenge to any person to challenge him. Now, let's put that on pause real quick. We got to see Kayla Rose versus, I think her name was Arby. I think her name was Arby. It was like a squash match.
Yeah, Nyla Rose versus Danny Jordan. That was just for her just to like make her look strong. It was kind of like a squash match.
Yeah, it was, but you know, it was great to see that Rose is back. You know, she's ready to put her name back into the contendership. I like the fact that, you know, she didn't lose any value. You know, they did not, you know, lower her power in a sense. But again, this was a quick match because again, the focus was not really much about the match, but the story, which to me, that's what captivates audience. You know what I'm saying? That's, to me, is what makes people want to watch more of AEW, because then I think it was the Chris Jericho, MJF.
Yeah, we have a couple of matches. Yeah, so that was good. That was probably one of the best promos I've seen. And it was so very funny. And I feel like we haven't seen MJF wrestle in AEW like a big match. Like he wrestled a couple of them, and it was kind of like 3, 4, 5 minute matches. But I feel like that guy, he doesn't even need to wrestle. Like his talking and his promo skills are like probably one of the best there in comparison to the people who've been there for like 20, 30 years, like Jericho and them. His mic work is probably like incredible, and like how he could control the crowd just by saying things and kind of getting heat from the crowd and like feed off from that and like basically be funny, but at the same time send a message to whomever he wants to send it. Like yesterday, he had it was incredible.
MJF, basically, he's like Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I'm saying? For us Latinos, we get a whole bunch of different type of meals. You know what I'm saying? You get the arroz con guandules, you get your pernil, you get your mashed potatoes. You know what I'm saying? You get all these different things, and that's what MJF is giving us. And then when you know that he can wrestle, shoot, that's like the dessert, man. That's like tres leches right there. It's like, oh snap, you brought tres leches. This is going to be like amazing. This is like a dream come true, and that's the beauty of this man. And him and Chris Jericho, again, it was hilarious. Google it, baby, Google it. I mean, that's another T-shirt right there, my guy. You know what I'm saying? And then they'd be like, oh,
and they could even do like a T-shirt like
in the circle.
Like,
you want to be part of it in the circle?
That part was, it was crazy. Like they should make everything they've said. It's like so quotable, and even memes. Basically, for this social media era, especially for this company, everything that comes out of their mouth, it's like sellable. Like they could write they could be like who's Hoovy? Like really, who's Hoovy? Like, and it's just like they could even do like a T-shirt like of who went to get her, but they'd be like kind of Where's Waldo. But with like Hoovy, like who's Hoovy or whatever, you know, it's they could like they could monetize so much stuff, and that's probably why they're one of the top people. Like why Chris Jericho's a champion, and he's probably the top heel in the company because they could like their persona and their like the way that they talk and like their promo work and stuff, and it's just like it's so incredible. Just like, and he's so young too. I think he's 25, 26, and it's like it's just incredible like what he could do with the mic.
And then him being part of the inner circle gives more sense, because like him working underneath Jericho, he'll be able to develop more of his, talk skills. And then when you see him in the match, like, let's say, God forbid, something happened to Chris Jericho, we know that AEW will still stay strong because MJF can pick up that role. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to be the devil's
no hesitation.
I don't want to be a devil's advocate about this, but do we know he is part of the inner circle, or he's just an ally of the inner circle? Because
are you saying if he's a sleep agent?
Maybe he might be like a mercenary or something, because he brought his boy over, and I don't know if he's gonna start his own crew and be helping out. His boy Warlord.
Yep.
So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know there's too many factions. I feel like that's not enough roster for the amount of factions there is. But like, maybe he could work, kind of like be associated with Inner Circle, but not be in the Inner Circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he has his own.
Well, if you guys saw the AEW TNT's Instagram page, basically they did posted like a video package of like Jericho and MJF doing like a scene from Step Brothers. Like, we became best friends. So yes, like, to me, it's like he could be, like you say, associated with them or be part of it. It doesn't matter to me because it already has that element. You know what I'm saying? It has that. Everything that they did from Full Gear to that moment made sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if anything would have happened to Chris Jericho, I know for sure, with no hesitation, MJF could definitely take over as leader over Sammy. Like, honestly, like, if we're talking about like the new generation, right there, he's it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
But I feel like, if I'm just thinking a little bit ahead, I feel like if he becomes part of the Inner Circle or some type of, associated with Inner Circle, I feel like there might be a little rift between Wardlow and Jack Hager, and that might cause some. That's a story within a story that, like, they might have some inner turmoil with the two being kind of like the muscle of the group.
Keep in mind that Jack Hager is expandable. You know what I'm saying? He still has his MMA career.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So by you bringing this new character in, you are basically creating like a AOP. You know what I'm saying? Or a Brother of Destruction, or you know what I'm saying? ADP. However you want to put it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're just creating a good team, just in case if Jack has to go back and focus on pro fighting, MMA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Homeboy will take over. So to me, I feel like AEW is just covering all the pieces just in case. Worst case scenario. And they're slowly are gaining, new bodies every week too. You know what I'm saying? Like Homegirl. Homegirl was like, yeah, I've been in a few of the dark matches and I'm ready to, dedicate myself to to AEW. And then out of nowhere, who comes out? Awesome Kong. And out of Awesome Kong, Brady Rose was in the background. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, it was like, yo, that was not bad. That's not a bad way to reintroduce Awesome Kong to an AEW special. I wish it would happen in Boston, but
true.
I was not mad at that.
Yeah.
That was pretty old fashioned.
Yeah, and I feel like the new Awesome Kong gimmick. It reminds me. I don't know if you've seen Charlie's Angels, but it reminds me of that weird guy from Charlie's Angels that cuts the girl's hair after.
The hair.
Yeah, so I don't know if they took the idea from there, or like, I don't know what if she's gonna do, like, have a mantle or something, do a promo and all her victims, and have everybody's hairs like kind of like a scary movie kind of.
Puts it in a belt where it's kind of weird.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But I guess weird is cool.
Yeah, especially for this, it differentiates her from everybody in AEW. So it's something. And who's gonna mess around with Awesome Kong? You could do whatever you want, lady, and we, nobody's gonna challenge you.
Kayla Rose. That's who I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I need to see this match fully armed because I know when they tried to do it during the summer, you know what I'm saying? It didn't, it didn't work out. But now that they have, Dynamite every Wednesday, oh my gosh, if they play the pieces correctly, this could be a great story to a great match for a future pay-per-view. Like, I could taste it right now. It's gonna be awesome. No pun intended.
What do you think about the Dark Order and Jurassic Express? Were you happy with the results?
Wow, that was really my god, that really they really have that 90s flavor right there, because that reminded me of the Authorities, you know what I'm saying, and Stone Cold and The Rock, you know what I'm saying? Like, it had that flavor, you know what I'm saying, back in the 90s, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty modern. In seeing Luchasaurus coming back out, you know what I'm saying, that was like a good pop. I was like, oh shoot, Luchasaurus, I thought he was extinct. But it was good seeing. It was a good bit.
I appreciate that Luchasaurus uses a lot of martial arts and a lot of like karate move and stuff, kicks and stuff. I want to see him more, because I like that he's big and strong, and he's also agile and like does a lot of kicks and stuff. But I wanted to see, especially if he's like taking everybody out of the ring and stuff, I wanted to see more power moves. But maybe he'll save that for later on into the feud with Dark Order, when you have the minions like kind of like chasing them around and stuff. So it's just, I wanted it was a good welcome back kind of scene, and it was like kind of like it was a good reunion. But I want to see more and see what comes out of this feud.
I mean, you're building a good storyline for that tag team division. You know what I'm saying? Another story that's still going strong is the Young Buck and the Lucha Bros. The Santana and Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? They were supposed to have a match, but it turns out it was more of a street fight. No rules, no ref, nothing. And real quick, shout out to Cassidy Orange.
Yeah,
I really laughed.
That shit was hilarious. And he just like closed the door. I'm like, all right, sorry. Like, it was just like amazing, and it was just like a good timing also for one of the Young Bucks to do the super kick. So it was a good kind of like change of pace and kind of like change of momentum for the Young Bucks. But it was amazing.
Shout out. I think it was Ortiz. Shout out to Ortiz for jumping to the top of, I think it was like a tractor or a trailer, whatever it was, and he just did like a frog splash. You know what I'm saying? That was dope. I was crossbody. That was what it was. Crossbody, got everybody knocked down. The Young Bucks all like into it, and it was just like it was. I was really impressed. You know what I'm saying? That they're trying to really make this inner circle versus elite very legit, and I think this element right here helped out a lot. Kenny Omega being distracted by John Moxley, that's another thing too. You know what I'm saying? Which brings out to our earlier comment, Darby, he had a match.
It was a triple threat.
It was a triple threat match.
Yep, it was Sean Spears and Peter Avalon. Avalon needs to be a manager for me. I have no faith in him. I haven't seen him show too much like wrestling and stuff, but he's funny. But I feel like, especially if you're going against, it gives some kind of like comedy, especially the people they wrestling, Sean Spears and Darby, which they're like super intense and super heel and stuff. So I'm glad that they put him in the match just to break the the tension between the three. But it was just like I feel like he'd be better as a heel. As a manager. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It was just, I feel like this match didn't do it for me. But I'm glad that Darby with that coffin drop was incredible. Finally, I like this coffin drop. It landed how it's supposed to land, and you saw the effects of the drop, and he was able to challenge Moxley. So I'm eager to see that one.
I had poor reception on my end. Sorry about that, guys.
We had a little.
I was saying this is like that promo, the way how he said it. You know what I'm saying? The way how he said his name and everything. I was like, this is why I mess with AEW. Because this is like textbook. You know what I'm saying? This is something that every wrestler should be able to do with no hesitation. But Darby, though, Jon Moxley, MJF, Chris Jericho, all those cats did a great job working the mic last night. And that's why I'm so invested with AEW.
Yeah, it was good. I feel like, honestly, for me, like, I'll be satisfied just for that. If they use their promos and no wrestling, especially the people that we mentioned, I feel the match that, like, it would not take away from the show for yesterday. It was probably one of the best promo work I've seen wrestlers or as a group of people, as a company, do, especially for just a regular TV show, which is kind of incredible.
And it's going to get better. That's the best part. AEW has only been how many episodes in now? I think this is like episode 9, episode 10 or something like that.
I think it might be 8 or 9, yeah.
It's fire, dog. I'm like, why can't y'all be 3 hours long?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's how invested I am with them.
We've talked a lot about the plus and the good things about AEW. The only thing, I found it funny, and it was funny for me just watching it live, and also it was, I guess, a down for me when Jericho botched the power slam move with Cody. I don't know if you were able to catch that.
That's when he was when Cody ran in and attacked,
and he tried to do a power slam, and I'm like, oh god, like, don't, like, at least he was able to, like, make it up at the second power slam, but it was just like, it looked so. I'm glad that JR and Excalibur were able to, like, play it off, and the commentary was like, oh, Cody might be exhausted from the injuries, so at least they were able kind of, like, play it off a little bit with the commentary, but it was just like that's like a botchamania, like, meme, like, gif into that one. But that was like my only down. It was funny, but it was just like it was so good delivery of MJF promo. Then you had Cody kind of like attacking them. Then that just, like, it brought it down a notch a little bit for me. But it was just I still found it enjoyable because it was funny. But it was just like you took away like the little essence that you had going.
I mean, yo, you gotta give props when props due. I mean, and I'm so hyped about AEW, you know what I'm saying? That we haven't even talked about, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, but we haven't even talked about the main match, you know what I'm saying? Which was the tag team match, SCU versus the Inner Circle, Sammy Guevara versus Chris Jericho. And my goodness, it was a little bit tough, you know? I was like, okay, what can they do? How can they work out? What moves can they pull in? And you know what? That match to me got a 9 out of 10.
It was good. I like SCU. I like the intro, especially when Scorpio Sky was like, this place stinks, but you know that's part of the gimmick because they, they're SCU. So it was good. I feel like it didn't meet my expectation. It was a good match, but it wasn't kind of like for me, it wasn't like a main event card. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, for me,
it was worth.
It was good, but it was just like, I don't know. And I didn't like how Jericho picking up his first, like, loss in AEW. I would have preferred it would have been in a different occasion. You know, I wanted to be he being kind of like undefeated a little bit longer.
Oh, boo-hoo. Like, yo, it was a champion versus champions. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me was like an ideal play for episode 8 or 9 of AEW. You know what I'm saying? The idea of someone being very undefeated, man, that's like 94 with Goldberg or maybe Asta recently. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let people get their L, and just continue on. I mean, Jericho loss was not all on him, you know what I'm saying? I mean, again, we gotta take in mind he was attacked by Cody Rhodes. There was a lot of different element of SEU involved. We also got to take encounter that Scorpio. He is definitely a great near contender. I think you mentioned it too before, for the belt. You know what I'm saying? If he goes solo. You know what I'm saying? So right there, what we're seeing is a glimpse of the future that could happen for Scorpio if he might get the opportunity to face Chris Jericho for an AEW match. And that free bird rule, you know what I'm saying, will definitely be implied because he could hold on to the championship belt and the other two members could also carry the tag team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like SCU, I feel like the team, I know Scorpio Sky and Kazarian won the title, but I feel like the real team for SCU, it's Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, because they've been a team for like at least 5-10 years. So they know how to work with each other, and especially Christopher Daniels might be, has more experience and might be a little bit promo-wise, a little bit better than Scorpio Sky. So they, like you mentioned, the Freebird rules is good because they're units, so they could flip-flop if somebody's injured and stuff. But I feel like I would like to see more Scorpio Sky because he's the younger one out of the group, and he has more charisma than everybody else in the group. So I feel like he's the one that shines more out in the groups, and he could potentially get an opportunity soon for the title.
And it was also, right, that he also got, he pinned Jericho. You know what I'm saying? There was nobody else but him. So right there, you're even building more of a story for him to go for the belt. You know what I'm saying? Even if he lose, at least you're allowing other young talent that, that don't have a big name, be able to grow and be able to work with a legend like Chris Jericho. I'm like I said, AEW, I'm sold with the package. I like what they're doing. I can't wait until they pick up new members from New Japan and the Lucha, AAA cards. If they're able to pull someone away from WWE, that'd be awesome. But with what with the package that they're giving us now, dude, it's oh my god, I cannot see a downfall. I cannot see a downfall at this moment because everything that they're doing is so good. That's how I see it.
So I will see. I'm just waiting for more people to add. I'm glad that each episode has either a new person or a new feud coming up. So I'm glad that they have Wardlow this week. We'll see if maybe this week or the week after that they bring somebody else new or somebody the factions break up or something. So it's every week they give you something new for the story for fans to follow. So we just gotta, I guess, stay tuned for that, for those matchups and those things. But I know there's a lot of people that are leaving. Like you mentioned earlier, some people are leaving WWE, and people's contracts are expiring soon from other companies. So let's see who AEW acquires in the upcoming shows that they have.
Well, it's you know what? We'll see what 2020 has for us. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think they're going to be able to pull a big name. You know what I'm saying? Even if they brought in, what's his name, Ryback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense for that company. For me, it doesn't make sense. I feel like the people that I could see in that company is Tessa Blanchard, Tully Blanchard's daughter. So she probably could become basically the female part of that faction. Maybe we'll see. What's his name? Marty Scurll from become an addition to the All Elite team. He used to be part of the faction back in New Japan, so maybe added to that roster. But I want to see more people to either make their own thing or become kind of individual superstars, not be part of the faction, because now we're seeing too many faction wars, which is good because you kind of rotate people in and out of the matches and stuff. But I want to see more people as individuals and kind of single stars.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I only mentioned Ryback because even if he was added on to the team, you know what I'm saying? he's not gonna be like a bigger impact than any other competitor that they could bring in from WWE. You know what I'm saying? Even if they were NXT competitors, you know what I'm saying? Until 2020, we don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm really, really excited for that. So hopefully the people that you mentioned make it through, because they will bring more element to AEW, and it's going to be even more sweeter than it is. But let's talk real quick about like certain news, right? So you and I, in our social media, in our inbox, we definitely talked about briefly. I think I'm in the right stupid mailbox. We talked briefly about like, our comments from Tuesday, right? So I think the big one is really CM Punk fully added on to the backstage team for Fox Sport. I'm not surprised. I'm really happy for him. I wish it was more of a wrestling contract, but according to a lot of news, it's like, oh, he's just going to be like an analyst for Fox Sports. What's your feedback on that?
We all wanted CM Punk back on TV. I'm glad that he got a position anywhere. I would have liked to see him more in AEW, especially in All Out last August when they're in Chicago, but things didn't work out. I know the owner of AEW offered him a lot of money to come to be partake of AEW, but I guess WWE's offer was a little bit better. Oh, Fox offer was a little bit better. But it was funny because I was seeing a lot of reviews about people that like they were saying that he was a sellout. I'm like, no. So you wanted him to come back to wrestling or to any promotion. He did. So at least enjoy what we got. Like, I'm happy for him that he got a position at Fox and he could be an analyst. I feel like he brings something else to the table, especially for that panel. Because Renee's really good as a host. Then you have Paige and you have Booker T. So I feel like it gives more of a different perspective because he was in the Indies and basically was out of WWE for a while. So it gives a different perspective on things happening in the news or WWE itself. So I'm happy for him, and I'm glad that he's part of something, inside wrestling, basically inside the wrestling universe.
Definitely. I mean, like, at first when we saw the news back in, which was actually 2 days ago, it was like, all right, cool. But actually see him go in, and he gave a little promo at the end of it. To me, I saw Adam Cole, I saw Samoa Joe, and I felt like, yo, please have a triple threat match right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, show us that you can still wrestle.
Yeah.
But, we'll see what happens. Right now, Seth Rollins is making a lot of noise in trying to see CM Punk.
He can't handle that.
What's your thought about that?
He can't handle CM Punk. No. Like, CM Punk, I know he's out of it and stuff, but, like, I feel like Seth is trying to get as much, either not a heel, but as much heat, because I feel like now people don't like him, or he's been booed and stuff. Like, I feel like, because I know in the last show, the WWE production had to, like, tune down the boos, because his promo and stuff, so I feel like that's the only way for him to, the way I see it, to stay relevant, bringing, starting a little feud with CM Punk and stuff, but I'm not gonna see that happen. Never say never, but Seth and CM Punk, I don't think that's gonna happen. I was going back and seeing some of the tweets and pictures that when CM Punk went down to went to NXT, and when Seth was champion, so they kind of had a little face off, but nothing came out of that. So it'd be a good storyline, but I don't think CM Punk. It's not. I don't know. There's nothing. He's got nothing to gain facing Seth Rollins. So.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough, right there. Another news that just came to my newsfeed, and I guess because of the UK tour, a lot of things are recorded. it seems someone leaked that Sasha Banks is going to be the captain of Team SmackDown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also seeing that Carmella and Brooks is part of the squad
For SmackDown.
So for SmackDown.
Ugh. Okay. Yeah.
Why that? Scuff?
Well, I don't know. It's just I didn't want. I'm glad that they're using Sasha. As you know, she's kind of like the name brand for that. Besides Bailey, she's basically like the name person. But I feel like I would have preferred somebody else participate in the Survivor Series. Because at least they're giving Dana Brooke a chance and Carmella a chance. Good for them. And Dana's been doing better in the wrestling and kind of like, I don't like the whole flexing thing, but you know, it's her whole gimmick and stuff. It's improving, which is good. We see progress for her, but I feel like I would have preferred for me I would have preferred Nikki Cross as the as the leader of the pack. But I guess we gotta see. Yeah, like I don't know. I just something different because I feel like Bailey could use Sasha in her side for Survivor Series. Not kind of like a manager or something, but like you know what I'm saying, like something like not a distraction, but like since they're together, like I'll keep them together until like Survivor Series,
I see what you mean, but the question is, does Bailey really need that? You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah.
So I mean, like again, there's still 2 spots open. I'm hoping that one of them is Naomi. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It would be nice for her to be part of the SmackDown team.
And maybe I think the last 2 might be honestly. I think it might be Natalia and Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair is at Raw.
Isn't she at SmackDown?
No, she's in Raw. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, they're both in Raw.
Okay,
we talked about this. Remember the couple stayed together.
Maybe Nikki Cross and Alexa. Alexa hasn't been on TV for a while, but they could.
That's a small squad. That's too small.
They could use Amber Moon. I haven't seen her in a while, but maybe. I think I saw.
Haircut too.
I know.
Saw the post.
I saw that Lacey Evans. Sorry, Lacey Evans got added to the team, so we might see Lacey Evans maybe Natty. Because there's I don't.
Wait.
No, I saw
Lacey Evans is
Lacey Evans is SmackDown, so I think she got added. I saw one of the posts and stuff that she got added to the Survivor team. So, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Sasha, and we just need one, maybe Naked Cross added to the team, I think.
Okay. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I feel like
not a good
need
team.
a powerhouse. Like Naomi or Nia Jax will make so much sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That to me will be like the ideal team or bring balance to the team.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you throw in Nikki Cross, it's good, but again she's so small.
Yeah.
Everybody is so small.
I know Tamina, she's part of the SmackDown roster, so we haven't seen Tamina in a while, but maybe Tamina, she could be the muscle in the group.
I mean, I won't be mad at that.
Yeah.
Or Nia Jax, because Nia Jax is still a free agent.
Okay.
She hasn't been picked up yet, so that could be a nice entry for her.
Mm-hmm.
Another team that was announced before. I think we talked about it. No, we didn't talk about it on the broadcast. Team SmackDown also announced their set of group. Roman Reigns, King Corbin,
and I mentioned and Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa Ali. Yep.
So we're both correct about, and Mustafa Ali finally got his name back again. So now it's Mustafa Ali instead of Ali. So, which is good for him, because I feel bad for people that like have 2 names, lose it, and never get it back. So, like for example, like Apollo Crews used to be Apollo at one point. Biggie Langston now is Biggie. So, I'm glad that Mustafa Ali kind of showing his heritage and stuff. So I'm glad that he's embracing.
Use the word Charlotte Flair. A lot of us use just the word Charlotte because it's easy, straight to the point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mustafa Ali is actually real quick. Did you saw the Twitter post from Rusev when he comment on it and he said again with question mark and exclamation point?
Oh no!
I was when I saw that he was like again, like yeah, it's not again.
Yeah, you're not Alexander Rusev anymore. You're just Rusev.
Fact.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of Team SmackDown? I think that's a really powerhouse compared to Team Raw.
I feel like this whole Survivor Series reminds me of a repeat of Saudi Arabia, honestly. Because the team that we saw, SmackDown and Raw, it's basically Hogan and Flair team. Like, it's basically taking one person or two out, but it's just like a repetition of what we're gonna see. I hope the results are not the same as what we saw at Crown Jewel, but I feel like it's basically the same people. I feel like Survivor Series should have been given opportunity to other people in the roster to like kind of like show what they have, kind of like to represent each brand.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like again, you do have who's gonna take out Braun though? You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's gonna pull like a Roman Reigns from Crown Jewel.
Well, Braun, you could have McIntyre against him and Randy Orton. You know what I'm saying? Like they could team up against Braun. Braun's gonna like. I think he might be one of the first people. Either Braun or Shorty G might be one of the people first eliminated if it's an elimination for the Survivor Series.
It is an elimination, but Braun has never lost a Survivor Series until this day.
I think this might be his first one.
Dude, don't say that. Chill. Chill. Remember.
Well, we also forgetting about NXT Survivor team, so we have to.
We're not sure if they're gonna be part because so far this seems like a Raw versus SmackDown type of match. You know what I'm saying? If they throw NXT, I mean, it would be different.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, like to me, Team SmackDown definitely seems to win this round because of Braun. Because I don't think the streak is gonna be broken, and I'm also upset that Daniel Bryan is not even included to the squad because he would definitely be more ideal than Shorty G.
I feel talking about Daniel Bryan. I think his match for Crown Jewel might have to be with Bray Wyatt. Because he got attacked by Bray Wyatt. Yeah, I think we might see something with Bray Wyatt and The Fiend at Survivor Series. Because he got attacked last week. This week, I think we might see something, the aftermath of that attack. So I don't know if Dana Bryan's gonna challenge him or something, but we might see some like reaction or feedback from that attack on Friday. So we'll see.
Oof.
Yeah.
I mean, like, do you believe The Fiend being champion was the right move?
I'm glad he's the champion, but I wish he would have had it in Hell in a Cell, not like like
sooner than
he would have got it sooner. You know what I'm saying? Like at least he could scrap, because it's just like they try to fix a mistake that could have been prevented. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to do too much. But I feel like I don't know. Because I think the pay-per-view that happened was before the roster changes and stuff, so I would have preferred him to win the title, then went to SmackDown Raw, then like be sent to SmackDown and win the Raw title, which is kind of weird.
Well, I mean, we'll see. But currently, my prediction for the men at this moment is SmackDown. SmackDown is gonna get that W. For the women, most likely, I'm guessing that Charlotte is gonna be the captain. You know what I'm saying? And she might have freaking the Iconics, maybe. I mean, the Iconics or the Kabuki Warriors, one of those two.
Okay. If NXT's participating in this, I will say for the females, I think I will take NXT over SmackDown or Raw.
Well, okay, again, their majority of their, you know, top players are in war games. You know what I'm saying? So like Blazer, Adam Cole. Well, I'm not even sure Adam Cole has a match, but Blazer, O'Reilly, Strong, Fish. You know what I'm saying? They can't really like go crazy in this match. They got to take care of their bodies for the next day. So I don't think they're gonna go too much on that. I think Adam Cole might have a match, but it could be with the Fiend, and it could be like a representative of of Raw, since for some reason Brock wanted to fight again against.
Yeah, against Mysterio. I feel like, I don't know. We have to eventually talk about that match. We'll see what happens from here. We got, I think, 2 weeks until 2 weeks, the 24th, until Survivor Series. So let's see what happens between the whole Mysterio and Brock thing. If for me, Mysterio, this might be his last like championship run. If he won, that'll be the last one, or maybe the last championship challenge that he'll have. But we just gotta be a little patient with that match. But I know, kind of talking about news and stuff. Do you saw that The Rock is playing Black Adam? That movie coming out. He's being Black Adam. I think the movie's being released.
Well, this announcement was made almost 2-3 years ago.
Yep, and now if like it's official for 2021, the movie is coming out, being released.
Yep, December of 2021. So, I'm glad it's in development. I want to see where they go with it, and if they, I'm hoping this make DC proud. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, they need this, because a lot of the DC movie has been pretty whack.
Yeah, have you seen? I wasn't able to catch Shazam. Were you able to watch Shazam? I heard it had good reviews, but I haven't gotten a chance to watch it.
I never finished it, and I saw like halfway, but I never got the chance to finish it or go back to it because it was just not. It was not my cup of tea.
Okay, so hopefully with The Rock, I know The Rock, he sells a lot. He's good for like promoting and stuff. So he'll promote anything that he's in it. He'll make the best out of everything. So hopefully the director and stuff does a good job with The Rock, and I feel like he's a good fit for that character. So we'll see what will happen. I think 2 years from now. So it's something to look forward to. But yeah, so SmackDown. I saw a couple of things. So SmackDown is gonna have the Daniel Bryan and Fiend feud. So they're gonna have, I don't know, they have a sit down or something. But there's more. Tomorrow will be posted. And also we're gonna have a rematch between Revival and the New Day. You think for the belt? You think the New Day retain or the Revival?
Wait. Was it New Day accepting a challenge, or was it? Did they say it was because of a claw?
No, what I see on their website, it says New Day and the Revival set for championship rematch for tomorrow.
The heck?
Yep.
Like, I want to know why though. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's because New Day just accept any open challenges, cool. Okay. That makes sense to me. But if it's because, it's because of the claw, the rematch claw, then I'm like, okay, that's stupid.
Yeah. I hope that the New Day retains just to, I don't care who wins out of this one, because whoever goes from here to Survivor Series is going to be a good match either way. So, but I feel like they want to make Survivor Series more hype and more like mainstream. I think it'd be better for New Day to be champions, but we'll see what happens. I think that's what's so far mentioned. Like we talked about, Lacey Evans joined the SmackDown Survivor team, and Daniel Bryan's gonna have kind of an episode. Miz TV and Miz will kind of interview Daniel Bryan about the Fiend's attack towards him. So not too much updates for tomorrow's show, but tomorrow we'll see what SmackDown has to offer. I think they're still in Manchester, I think. I don't think they've come to the States yet, so I think this might be probably like a pre-recorded show, and they're showing us tomorrow on Fox.
Well, they showed that Charlotte. I follow Charlotte in her Instagram right now. She's in India,
Okay.
so I believe it's going to be a pre-recorded
Okay.
episode. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Excellent.
So you guys could follow our page again, Providence Lucha Talk in Facebook, as well our social media, Instagram and Twitter, Providence Lucha Talk. And if you miss our live show, definitely catch it on YouTube. It's going to be posted within the next 24, 48 hours, where you could watch and, make sure you like and put some comments. We definitely want to get your insight and see what you guys are, think of our comments here. So this is your boy Jay Aguila.
And this is Lucito.
Y'all have a good night.
See ya.